So, why does data need protecting? Data has become one of the most powerful assets in the world. It can be used to help you understand statistical trends, offer insight into what best drives profit, and highlight key target audiences. Huge enterprises have even been built from big data and advertising products to you. But data can also be used against you. Think of social engineering attempts, fraud, and many other nefarious means. Imagine how easy it would be for a thief to take your things if they could access your location data and track the trends of when you were home. They could know when you're at work, when you're home, or even if you're on holiday. It's quite scary. To protect data, you need to take a proactive approach. If you don't take a proactive approach, then you could be leaving yourself open to an attack. Our approach is to build a framework surrounding data protection that embraces the GDPR requirements of security by design and offers guidance on adopting privacy-focused culture within your organization. We consider the perspective of, if this was our own personal data, what would we do to protect that information? The new framework we built is adopted and shaped using the IAPP's privacy operational lifecycle and offers a fully managed service which guides you through compliance and takes the proactive approach of securing information with data privacy as a priority. The framework consists of 4 key components: assess, protect, sustain, and respond. The full privacy framework is focused on improving protections while meeting and simplifying compliance requirements. This is a project-managed approach which offers a structure including the following key components of our framework under each section. So assess has us scoping your business, making it a big project, ensuring data privacy by design for new existing systems, data mapping to assess how data is collected, stored, and accessed and transferred, develop a privacy team to communicate with internally using key functions such as HR, IT, security, legal, or marketing, offering you secure OneDrive access for your organization where we can share files with you, and completing third-party reviews so that we can make sure that any third parties you have a minimum level of privacy implementation established. So protect. This involves creating and implementing a compliance framework, including good practice. This includes all mandatory documents which will be produced to meet the regulatory requirements, along with a base level of security to adopt across your organization, improving the privacy culture. The key employees that we find from the assess section, we will train those, and we'll train them based on the function that they work in, so that they receive privacy training specific to their function. We'll offer a monthly video cast or drop-in session, which allows employees to come in, talk to their DPO, ask compliance-specific questions about their working activities, and it offers a direct line of communication between all employees and their data protection officer. We'll also offer monthly requests. This offers the opportunity for monthly requests for documents, guidance, training, anything as such, and they can be sent directly to your DPO or made via GDPR-specific ticketing system. For sustain, this is where we conduct an audit to make sure that you are continuing your compliance, making sure that the controls that have been set are being followed and employees are doing what they're supposed to do. We'll do a quarterly review to make sure that your roadmap is being followed and that your compliance is maintained. We'll give you a monthly update, or it could be 6 weekly or 2 monthly, depending on whatever you like, and can be created tailored to you, which will involve all the work that we've completed, what you've done, where your compliance is currently at, and a number of other things. It just gives you an overview of what's happened that month with our work. We'll also give you a workflow and a dashboard, which we will give you an overview of shortly. But this will be fully personalized and allow you to see what current workload and priorities you've got. This includes your compliance, any jobs that are going on, as well as anything for a priority level, such as high, medium, or low priority work. So respond. This is all about responding to information. So this could be a subject access request that's been received from a data subject. It could be a data breach that's happened. It could be a complaint from your data subject, or it could be reporting to the ICO due to an advisory action. Now, the key features of this include a personalized dashboard, which we can build bespoke for you so you know where you are, a Gantt chart so you can track your progress along your journey, quarterly meetings so that you can schedule and hold a meeting to be able to find out where you are, where your compliance is, what work needs doing, and you'll get a personalized DPO, which will likely be me. You'll also get advice on safeguards, a price on your approach for legal basis. We'll help you deal with third-party provider requests. We'll give you a dedicated privacy framework, offer you secure file access, a roadmap to compliance which is personalized to you, and will help you review legitimate interest assessments, privacy impact assessments, and any third-party contracts. So in order to manage all this, what we've done is we've created a board on Placker, and we can assign you as a member or one of your employees, and they would champion it. We would then be able to offer milestones and tracking, and what I've set up here is to be able to set milestones for Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. We can set this up so that we assign work quarterly and let you understand what needs to be done at each quarter in order to be able to improve your compliance as well as maintain it. We'll also offer boards, so each one of these boards represents a job that we would do. So for example, the big one here, GDPR audit activities, these are all the audit activities that we would do in order to be able to check your current compliance and then go through providing a report, making sure you've got data privacy by design, data lifecycle mapping, third-party reviews, and then we create a checklist for you in order to become compliant. This is all done through individual cards on here, and then this one relates to what an organization or client would get. So they would be expected to do these, and if you can't, then you get in touch with us and you let us know. So for example, mandatory documents, you would be a member on this, you would see this, and we would ask you, can you run down this list and see what you currently have? So personal data protection policy, privacy notice, and employee privacy notice are all mandatory documents from GDPR. You have to have each one of these, and I've even put down just the non-mandatory ones when they are mandatory. So it's mandatory in certain situations. You could check this off, and then we understand what you've got. You can then send them to us in our secure folder, and we'll be able to review them for you to make sure they're compliant. Same with IT and security policies. We'd ask that you would click here, add an item, and if you have, let's say, a privacy policy, or you have an acceptable use policy, then you can pop them in here. We'll know that, we'll be able to review them for you and offer more recommendations. So the good thing about this is we can also offer monitoring. So we'll be able to look into what complaints you currently have open, any subject access requests, whether the ICO has put in contact with you or they're in an investigation, whether there's been any incidents or breaches, any DPIAs that are currently being done on new systems, or if there's any new projects coming in. Now, the good thing about this is if you have a new project, we'll say here, please describe any new projects that are being carried out by yourselves. We'll evaluate them and offer any input for protections and compliance related suggestions. It's the same with DPIAs. If you have mentioned any new projects, we can explain whether or not, or advise whether or not the DPIA should be carried out on a new system. With this, we've linked the cards, so we understand that, at least you can understand then, what jobs need to be completed prior to certain jobs being started. So we need to know from yourselves, the client to do, privacy team and reporting. So we need to know your key contacts, and we need to know who it is in your team who is going to be involved in the privacy side of your business. That could be HR, legal, marketing, a member of the board, it could be IT. But once we know those contacts, we can log that down and then train employees. And we would add them in here as you told us them. And we can say HR, IT, marketing, board member, legal, and so on as received training. And this training would be specific to their function. So HR would learn about subject access requests and employee data. IT would learn about data privacy by design. Marketing would learn about how to properly and legally market to individuals, and so on. And as you can see, each one of these is linked, and we've set them up so we can use this as a template. And finally, what we can do is we can track these by priority. So I've set up a little board, and what you can do is you can look here, high, and these are the current ones that are considered high priority. These are medium, and the low priority ones. So high would be things like a risk assessment, complaints, and so on. And low would be drop-in sessions and things that are non-compulsory. We also have one here for monitoring. So these are awaiting action. These, once you've populated them with information, would go on to monitoring, and we can remove this. We'd still keep it as an option, as a tag, but we wouldn't necessarily monitor it unless, we needed to add any more. We have an overview one where you'd be able to see what's to do, what's currently to do for yourselves, for us, and what's in monitoring. And then finally, we also have progress here. So we can see what's open. Now, most of them are open because we haven't started any on this one yet. 9 are pending, which means they're currently be in progress or awaiting further action. None are started, and none are completed. And then when they are completed, they'll end up here. This process is important to allow your employees to be able to stay in contact with your data protection officer while offering a free and open environment to air concerns or suggest improvements. We want to take a fully impartial stance. We care about protecting data. We aren't here just to pick faults. If something requires an improvement, we won't be afraid to let you know and offer improvements. Equally, if something's good, we'll happily highlight this, and we may even take that to improve our own approaches in the future. After all, privacy is important to us all, and we're all in this together. We want to be part of your team and ease the burden, not be considered some scary outside third-party entity whose only job is to pick faults. We're here to help.